With Minecraft Alive having come and gone, I wanted to share with you guys 5 features that I think Minecraft needs. Now you might think, who am I to say that Minecraft needs some features? And I mean, that's a fair point. You know, you don't know me, I don't know you. Stop asking. I've been playing the game for years and I know areas where the game lacks, and I also want to someday release my own video games, at least a few, not make a whole studio, just a few. So sharing my ideas might be like a good practice round in order to train myself to be a better game designer in the future. Hopefully. I did my best to keep the ideas as Minecrafty as possible. I did order them in this video to get cooler as the list goes on. The last one though is actually freaking spicy. I'm excited to talk about that one. The first one is the moose. Now you might be wondering, okay, hold on. I know what you're saying. The moose, Adrian? Who's asking for the moose? I am. Big guy, big antlers. Imagine you're walking through the mega taiga and in the trees, in the distance, you see a big old hulking creature wandering about, minding his own business. Imagine how cool that is. It's like you're in Canada and you know, you see a moose in the trees. That's pretty neat. And what the moose would do is occasionally they drop antlers for the player to collect and use. I would say you can make weapons from them with the sharp tips. I would say you can place them like a bowl outside to collect water for the player to use. Or you can place them as decoration on your walls. And you might say there's already a ton of mods that add the moose into the game, and that's a fair point. But my preferred method of like getting the features that I would like into the game is politely asking the developers. I'm just kidding you. Relax. Here's some more details about the moose that I personally would like about my moose feature. Number 2 and number 3, the black and brown bear. Now you might be asking, you might be wondering, I can already tell the comments, I can already tell, what use would a black and brown bear have? Well, I would counter that question with, what use does the polar bear have? And like, I'm not just trying to add stuff into the game because, you know, other stuff is useless, but I wanted, if you're gonna add a polar bear, just add, we got pandas, we got polar bears, bro. Add the grizzly and the brown bear. What are we doing? And you might be wondering, well, okay, no, you can't add the grizzly and brown bear. That would make the forest too dangerous. And the forests are like the most basic biome. All the new players would go into them and then instantly die. Well, okay, well, I hear you, and obviously I have accounted for this. Introducing the bear den. Now, you might be wondering, what is the bear den? I'll tell you, it is a new structure that generates very rarely in, you know, appropriate forests, like the oak forest, maybe the spruce forest. It is like a little structure that generates with at least 1 to 4 bears in it. I'd say probably like 1 adult maximum, and then like 1 to 3 babies. And that structure would work as like an anchor for those bears, so they'll only wander in about a limited area around this bear den. And the reason I made it that way is so that when a player approaches or finds a bear or a bear den, they can just run the opposite direction and know that they'll just be safe, because the bears won't go outside a certain radius. And you might say, oh, that's unrealistic, the bear would chase them down anyway. Dude, what are we doing here? Now, typically bears will be able to climb trees, scale walls. If you drop a honey-related item on the ground, the bear would approach it and be distracted for allowing the player to escape. The brown bear would be pretty neutral around the players, so they have a small window of opportunity to leave before the bear gets aggro. But when the bear gets aggro, you do not want to stay. Now, the black bears are much more passive. They'll typically avoid the player or run away, but if cornered, they will attack. And I would also say the black bear has the ability to break down your door and dig into your chest if you're away or so for long enough. So maybe you have like a little house in the forest somewhere, and then, you know, you might hear some rustling in the other room. You go out to check, oh, it's a bear just digging through my chest. And, you know, if you hit it or something, it'll probably just run away. It'll still like 1 or 2 pieces of food. It's not a big deal. And I would say they're also afraid of loud noises. So say if a TNT sets off, they'll run away. Or they'd also be afraid of Endermen because of how tall they are. Number 4 is the Pudu bird, or the Pudu bird, the Pudu. Now, if you don't know what that bird is, you are one of the few lucky ones that have lived in this world without knowing what the Pudu is. The Pudu is a freaky bird. If you don't know what that is, I'm gonna play a clip right here. You see that bird right there? That's a crazy looking bird. Why would I want that bird in the game? Well, think about it. In Minecraft, there's a thing called the cave noise that plays a pretty scary noise just randomly while you're in the caves. This bird gives us forest noises. Can you see where I'm getting at here? Now imagine this, you're wandering through the forest at night, and then all of a sudden, dude, what was that? Completely harmless, but very, very, very scary sound playing just randomly. And when you hear that sound, you can look around and you might even catch two big yellow eyes staring straight at you. These birds are able to fly through leaves and perch on wood logs, so you'd see the eyes like through the leaves of the tree. Their main purpose is just for adding ambiance, because I don't think any of us want to eat one of these birds, but it'd make a really cool addition to the game. I'm just saying. And now, the final mob that I think Minecraft needs. And I have a ton more ideas that I want to make more videos on. I kept it to 5 because I didn't want this video to be 30 minutes long. Honestly, I could make an hour-long video. Honestly, I can make an hour-long video with the amount of ideas that I have for Minecraft, all of which are pretty Minecrafty and fit right into the game. Now, the last mob, the spicy one, the one that I've been hyping up the entire video, I call it the Happyravager. And immediately, okay, I know. Shut up. I did not come up with this mob when the Happy Gas was made. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This idea has been in the tank for a very long time, so I'm just happy that I can share it with you now and get your feedback on it. Now, you might be able to guess what I'm trying to get at here, but let me actually explain my vision. So you know the Ravager, right? The thing that the pillagers ride when you're doing a raid, the thing that stomps on your crops and pushes you out the way and has 2 giant horns. My theory is that because this thing is owned by the pillagers might not be treating it very well, which is why this mob is so grumpy all the time. So what if when you're doing a raid or whatever, you can trap the Ravager, kill all the pillagers, you feed the Ravager a cake, and then give it 5 minutes or so, and he goes from the gray, dull, grumpy guy to a bit more colorful, plumper, happy guy. And that is what I would call the Happyravager. The main use for this mob would be that he would be able to carry up to 8 barrels on its back, and the guy will just carry it around for you. We can leash it, or you can ride the guy because it's happy and he's full. But you might be saying that's a little much, a little overpowered, you might say. And I would agree. So over time, the Happyravager would lose his smile and lose his colorfulness, and he won't turn completely back into a Ravager, but he will be less compliant. He maybe won't walk as fast, or maybe he just won't let you ride him at all. But when you just feed him a cake, he goes right back to normal. So as long as you have cake on you, you can just use it however you like. And no, I would not say you can breed these guys. I would say that you can only get them from, helping the Ravagers that are participating in the raid. But with that being said, what do you think? What do you think of this list of 5 things that I think Minecraft needs? I think Minecraft could really use this stuff. The Ravager fulfills like a need for like mass storage, at least early game mass storage, whereas late game you have shulker boxes, which are insanely overpowered. The Happyravager still costs a decent bit, but gives you the extra movable storage with some limitations. I think it's a fine addition. That, along with the bears, adding a little bit more challenge, a little bit more just. It feels like a living ecosystem now with the bears and the moose. I only choose these specific mobs because there's just not a lot of stuff happening in the Mega Taiga, and I think the bears and the moose would probably make the Mega Taiga feel more alive. The Pudu would, I think, be a great addition to Minecraft. It's already pretty log-like in shape. You can just add like a square-looking bird. Anyway, that's everything that I have to share with you guys today. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think. See you guys tomorrow.